and I'm talking to people making a difference in their business and community. And I'm so excited to have Sheila Long here. Thank you, Sheila, for being here. I'm here at the MalamaDoe space.
You are.
And Sheila's the founder and owner of this beautiful co-working community for women here in Shorewood, Wisconsin.
Well, thank you so much for having me. This is such an honor to be featured, so thank you.
So, as I said, I'm talking to people making a difference, and you're making a huge difference to women who are entrepreneurs, many solopreneurs, and they can come here and be together and support each other.
They can.
How did you get started with this?
Well, I was working in corporate America outside of Chicago in Schaumburg, and I developed a health condition. So I ended up taking a break from my career. We moved to Wisconsin, back to where I'm from, and I met all of these really talented women in the neighborhood of the Shorewood, Whitefish Bay East Side, people with these amazing backgrounds, great careers, who had moved back to Wisconsin or just moved to Wisconsin to have a little more work-life balance. So they were seeking jobs with flexibility or where they could be their own boss, but were needing a space to work.
That is really cool. Tell me a little bit about yourself. I saw your bio, and there's just so much I could ask you about.
Thank you.
I thought it was fascinating. You have a kind of a techie background, a corporate background, a stay-at-home mom. You speak a few languages. Just anything you want to share about yourself.
Great. Well, thank you for saying that. I worked in high-tech sales for Motorola, and then I ran a service organization, and I worked in quality as well. So I really liked that, but I needed the flexibility. And then I had developed this health condition where I was on a lot of medication, which caused birth defects in children. So I could move up in my career. I was finishing up my MBA. I was like definitely on the fast track, moving along, but I had to make a choice where I could continue or I could
take care of yourself?
Take care of myself, right? So I chose the latter. I moved into a lateral position and then was laid off when my oldest child was born. And we had moved back to Wisconsin. So I was happy to be back in Wisconsin. And then I just went to moms groups, became active on local boards, and met all of these amazing women who were disconnected in Milwaukee. So when my children entered the school system, like more than a few hours a week, I was able to kind of rethink my career. And this is something that I'm really passionate about. Being from Wisconsin, I really want women who move here to be able to flourish and thrive and grow and build a community and work together to do that. So I'm happy I'm able to have us all here.
That's cool. But for now, I want to, make sure I find out what's most exciting, what's going on for you with MalamaDoe.
Well, there's a lot going on here. We have 26 members right now for the month of June. We have a few more signing up for next month already. And we have a great intern program, which is really helping women rebrand themselves. And in this day and age, everyone is online, having social media presence. And for women who didn't grow up constantly being online, which is most of us, we have interns who are helping us all rebrand ourselves and put us out there and really showcase what our gifts are and how we can use those.
That is so truly a community. This isn't just a co-working space.
No, it's not a space. Yeah, I always wanted the community. We did end up having the need for the space. And in this part of town, there really wasn't any place where women who run a business out of their home really could meet. So this is why we opened it.
And it's very inspirational.
Thank you. Our decorator said, we need to make it happen on the wall in big letters, so she did it.
That's awesome. So in terms of your self-care, do you have daily rituals that you do to make sure you can show up here every day?
I do, actually. I do prayer reflections every morning, and then I couple it with mindfulness affirmations, and then I kind of, depending on how much time I have, I might go into like a mindfulness meditation where I like kind of think through anything that might be like stopping me from moving forward, just so that I can be prepared for whatever happens during the day.
Wow.
I need to work on exercise too. It's just hard to fit everything in.
Right. With the 3 kids.
With the 3 kids, right.
So do you do that before they're even up in the morning?
That's the goal. It depends. Every day is a new adventure, so we try.
Okay. Just 1 or 2 more questions. Is there a unique habit or something absurd that you love that might be interesting about you?
I'm sure there are many. Let's think. I read another book, The Lifetime Magic of Tidying Up.
Oh, yeah.
Have you heard of that?
Yes.
Where you just make sure that the things that you have in your life are things that bring joy and that you really like to have around you. Otherwise, you just get rid of it. Mm-hmm. And so that has been an interesting experience, just because I've gotten rid of a lot of things, but I just make sure what I have in my life is stuff that I really want.
Wow, that's great. That's great.
Thanks.
Yeah, I've got that book too. Still working on it.
We read it for my book club, and so then it became like everyone in the book club started doing it. It's helpful if you do it with other people.
Cool. So I have kind of an off-the-wall question to ask you.
Okay.
It's a little bit fun. When you think of your childhood, what does it smell like?
The smell, okay. All right, well, that's an interesting one. I grew up outside of Appleton the first 10 years of my life, and it has developed since then, but it was more rural back then. So within a few blocks of our house, we had many relatives and many friends, so we would bike a lot, and we would not want to come home because we were playing. So our parents knew we were safe. They could call on the landline phone. They could call and find out where we were or drive around and find us, but we were just constantly playing and constantly being outside. Mm-hmm. And there were a lot of gardens of people who we knew, so we knew we could get food if we were really hungry and didn't want to go home and go pick whatever. We knew the families, what we could pick and what we couldn't. So rhubarb was always on the table. We could always take the rhubarb, or there's strawberries and raspberries and everything.
I can smell it.
Can you? And then during the winter, my mom would make spaghetti sauce. Every week we would have some homemade spaghetti sauce.
Oh, that's awesome. One thing, you know how Oprah says, one thing I know for sure? Mm-hmm. What is one thing that you would like to share with people?
Okay, I would say just that we have a very welcoming community here. We're very supportive. We encourage other women and we build them up. And if people are looking for that type of support professionally, they have a business or they're launching a business or they're just working from home for someone else, but they need a supportive community, that we're here for them. Mm-hmm.
And what would you say, looking back on your journey from 2015 when you founded this, mm-hmm. looking back, what would you say was most helpful in getting you to the idea to here today, 2018?
I read a lot of books. So I read another book, I forgot the exact name, but it was the coach of the Atlanta Falcons. He co-authored a book. And he talks a lot about your company's culture and how you really need to stay true to your company's culture, mm-hmm. and like fight for it and make sure that no matter what else happens, that that nothing gets in the way of making sure that your culture is like a safe place. Mm. So as the business has grown, I've always stayed true to that we're staying focused and that we're a welcoming and supportive community. Mm. And it's hard because you can follow the money and you can, like, we could have let men in, but we were for women, and that's just what our mission is. And we want to be welcoming for women. Mm-hmm. And people are at different parts of their career, but we stay true to that.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. This has been really a great honor, so thank you for featuring me.
Thank you.